Ike Hall had the big announcement at the 5:45 Sportscast. An hour later, another surprise coming your way. Troy Starr coached the Helix Highlanders for 8 seasons. The Scotties laying claim to 1 state title. And if not for a late fumble in the state semis in 2015, would have played for another. But like a lot of stars that burn brightly, there's often a fade to black. Coach Starr stepping down as a Scotties coach after that turbulent 2015 campaign. But then he reappeared on the football scene as a featured player on San Diego's most watched high school football show. The PPR's answer to John Gruden, Troy Starr, well, it was a meteoric rise as a TV analyst, ending, though, this morning. Apparently, you can take the coach out of football, but you can't take the football out of the coach. Troy Starr agreeing to succeed Sean McDade as the new head football coach at Mount Miguel. And it was one of the worst kept secrets in San Diego County, but it is out. Talk about why.
You know what? I miss the kids. You know, going to the games this fall with you, you know, I definitely miss them. You know, I think that as a coach, you have a huge impact on kids.
No doubt.
And you get to teach those values, work ethic, accountability, respecting authority, all of those things, and they're just so critical to the kids.
But you did tell me that you had coached your last football game.
At that time, I believed it, you know, but I just, as it went along, I just missed it. And also, you know what? I've worked with you for 2 years. Would you want me at home all the time? You know?
I thought you were going to say, I've worked with you for 2 years, a third year, just I couldn't do.
Yeah.
All right, Mount Miguel is an interesting choice for a variety of reasons. For starters, okay, it's not the sexiest high school in the county, but man, they've had some hard-nosed kids play there. Talk a little about
you know, I think Mount Miguel's a school, you know what? I know one thing, I know I can help those kids, and I know I can help that school. And it's close, it's 6 minutes from my house. You know, I'm going to continue as a teacher at Helix. I'll teach a PE class, which I do now before school, and then after school, I'll go coach the football team.
Well, brings me to the other reason why the choice is interesting. Helix and Mount Miguel have had a rivalry. The fact that you have your foot still on the in the Highlands, but you're going to be coaching the arch rival. Is that a little bit like Vince Lombardi trying to also have a gig with the Bears?
Well, I don't know. You know, my wife and I will both teach there. I gave that school and that football program 8 years of my life, gave them everything I had. And, you know, they got a good coach right now. I work with him. He's a good guy, Robbie Owens, and they're in good hands.
But you're taking some of the coaches from Helix, right?
You know what? Just a few. But I'm taking, you know what? I'm taking my long time right-hand man.
They were your guys first.
They're my guys, without a doubt.
Talk a little bit about who's going.
Sam Friend, who I think is one of the top coaches in the state of California, is my right-hand man for 8 years. He's coming, and that is as big as it gets. I'm bringing Kevin Smith, one of the top young coaches in the county, and then also we're bringing Ray Toilolo and Gridiron Ministries. Ray, I hired him when I was in Gainesville in 2008. Ray's the backbone of Helix. He's a Mount Miguel grad. He's a humanitarian. He's dedicated his life to helping kids, and he's the perfect guy to have on your lower levels teaching those life skills to those kids.
My dad said always at the dinner table, one man can make a difference. I think Mount Miguel is about to find out how one man can make a difference. I'm very confident that good things lie ahead for that program. Well, but that's the last compliment I'm going to pay you because I'm upset you're leaving.
Well, thank you very little.
Can you talk a little bit about, or first of all, we had the Spanos coaches on the air last night. We're just going to briefly segue away. They were talking about the state of San Diego high school football. Could you listen to these sound bites, and then I'd like to get your take. This is from last night.
I don't think we're in trouble. I think we're always going to have those group of kids that want to be competitive. They always want to be a team sport. Football is the ultimate team sport. And those kids, we got the tough kids. And I think, you know, with what's going on with this concussion thing, we're trying to rectify it and make sure it's a safe playing field. I think we're going to be okay for a while.
Coach?
The game's never been safer. Equipment's never been better. Education's never been better. The game of football's fine. It'll be here for a long time.
So, do you agree with them?
I do. I think the concussion thing is actually a blessing in disguise. The game's so much safer now. Remember when we played, when you hit somebody and you saw stars, coach said, "Hey,
shake it off.
Shake it off. Get back in the huddle. You don't even know what day it is. You know." So I think it's great. You know, I think the safety is as good as it's ever been.
And so, you know, the 7-on-7 passing camps they're on the rise. Is that a good thing for football, or is it going to prove to be football's undoing?
Well, I think nowadays, you know, kids, they don't when we were young, we get a group of guys go to the park and play. They don't do that anymore. So anytime they're playing football is good. Now, these coaches, if they're teaching them different stuff, that's fine. They can teach them whatever they want to teach them, but as long as when they're with you, they do what you tell them to do. So it's good. I think it's good if they're out there playing.
So, and it's just how, are we asking the kids to play too much football with the season as long as it is, and then now this all-star thing is taking off, and now there's 8 different all-star games you can play in?
There is, and you know what? I don't know.
All right, well, that's a good answer. An hour earlier, we had Ike Hall in here. Together, we butchered the moment. I said you were going to Mater Dei, and Ike said you were going to take the program from 100 to a 0. On our Make Good, I said you're going to Mount Miguel, and he said you're going to take the program from a 0 to 100. Talk a little bit about it. Kids like Ike Hall are why you do what you do, right?
There's no doubt about it. That kid can be a congressman. You know, I mean,
well, no, he's going to aim higher than that.
Yeah,
please,
I know.
Please, but
he's not going to be a PE teacher. That's for sure.
But I mean, isn't that connecting with kids like that and making their lives a little bit better?
It is, and I know how proud Coach Sanchez is of him, and he's such an excellent player and just an excellent human being, and that's why you coach. It's the kids. It's the kids. It's the kids. It's the kids. It's not all the adults and all that other stuff. You bring up, just quickly, can you give me a quick hit on Coach Sanchez leaving? What do you think that's about? You know what? I love it. I think he's an excellent coach. He's a pure teacher. If you've ever watched him coach, he is teaching nonstop. He's not standing off the side and letting other people work. You know, he's a guy hands-on, excellent coach. Did his time as a GA, and Rocky knows, and I think Rocky's excellent. Got a good guy. I think he has the same kind of qualities Rocky Long has. I think there was a connection there, do you not? You know what?
Has to be, right?
They have conviction.
Yes. And then another good friend of yours is replacing Gary Blevins. He's going to be in this chair 24 hours from now. Can you talk a little bit about Chris Thompson? Chris Thompson, known him for a long time. You know, I'm really happy for him. That's been his dream job. And I know he worked really hard to get it, and I think he's the perfect guy for that job. And he did just an amazing job at Helix this year as an offensive assistant, just really big. All right, you know, Coach, you're leaving a lot of TV money on the table. Everyone knows you had one of the biggest contracts on the show. I was trying to renegotiate that, too. Yeah, well, now it looks like we're going to be able to pay Rick Willis stuff on it. We're going to miss this.
If you care what other people think, you'll always be their prisoner. You have to be odd to be number one. For all the sad words of tongue and pen, the saddest are what might have been. When an elephant decides to walk through the village, all the dogs come out to bark. There'll be no money involved, but on your deathbed, you will receive total consciousness. So you got that going for you, which is nice.
Did you ever bring your wallet to the game?
I did, finally at the end. Yeah.
Are you going to miss the TV thing at all?
You know what, I had a blast with you. I had so much fun. I mean, just keeping my foot in, I can't thank you enough for having me. I really, really enjoyed every minute of it, even though I never got a chance to ride in a creeper van. our white luggage. Hey, before we wrap this up, can you talk a little bit about what's the... Like, do you just install your system, or would you fit the system? What's the first thing when you take over a program? What do you do day one? Learn the kids' names? Well, you do, but right now we're doing a Champions Club right now. It's something I learned when I was at the University of Florida with Urban Meyer. I think it's the key to the success. You shrink the gap between the most invested and least invested. Get them to invest right now and teach all of the teamwork, hard work, all of that stuff in the off season. You have instant credibility because you can wear that god-awful ring on your finger, right? I got a few of them. Yeah, I know. You just wear the jewelry, and everyone listens. The jewelry speaks. Lauren Finney knows all about that. All right, on behalf of, by the way, can we just show tomorrow's guest? Did I make that board? Maybe I forgot. Chris Thompson's in studio tomorrow night, along with Chris Ello. We'll be talking to Chris Thompson about his new gig at Mira Mesa. I am done. Back to my esteemed colleagues at the news desk.